One. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fuel for Success. This is episode 242. Welcome to 2015. If you didn't join us yesterday, we're glad to have you here today. And this is the one and only Henry. What's up, dude?
Henry.
Chilling?
Henry, it's Uncle Matt. Hey, listen. We were chatting pre-show, you and I wanted to have you on, buddy. Tell everybody about some relationship advice, man. Talk to us, Henry.
He's got wisdom from 5 months, and
He's basically learning that he's got unbelievable grandparents. Yes, my friends, I know Mike doesn't look it, but that is his grandson. It's not that they're babysitting someone else's kid. That's his actual grandson.
my
today.
actual grandson. And he's
But hey,
zero.
you're a healthy, good-looking, young-looking grandpa, so that ought to make you feel good. Caleb asked me last night what I wanted to be called. I said, you know what, bud? Let's have this chat in about 10 years. How's that sound?
Exactly. I'm with you on that. I was unprepared for it emotionally. However, I mean, how could you not love that? Hey, look in the
He's
camera, bud.
cute. He
He's a
was
little
chatting
non-compliant.
up pre-show. Henry, just give us a word, buddy.
You talk to him?
I love you, dude.
Not doing it. Awesome.
That's
Hey,
cool.
with our this new form, I'm a little bit. What's up, dude? I'm distracted. How am I supposed to do a show? I got my grandson here. Hey, so hang on one second. I'm going to take the child. Thank you.
Here, take the kid. He just used the bathroom. Take him.
The great part about being a grandparent, you can hand them back. Okay, so
Not that you would want to do that, but you could.
I can, yeah. Like when it gets, because kids sometimes you don't have any idea. Like, what is he crying about? I don't know what's the idea. Here, take the kid. So, hey, today's Wednesday. No, yes, it's Wednesday.
I hope it's Wednesday. It feels Wednesday.
Wow. Anyway, so today's Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about relationships, spirituality, life coaching, those sort of things. And good morning, my friend.
Hey, buddy. Good morning to you, and welcome back to Fuel for Success, man. It was good to be back yesterday. Now I know why I was in such a good mood yesterday. We started our talk show back up again. So,
That's right.
Having fun with it, looking forward to it. The jury is still out, whether Mike and I will go Monday through Friday. Right now, we're Tuesday through Thursday. Unless we have some of our fans rise up and start a revolution or a revolt, it looks like we're sticking with Tuesday through Thursday. So, we got to hear some feedback out there on Facebook on our Fuel for Success has its own Facebook page. So,
Hey, that's
stop by
right.
and visit us, my friends.
Yeah, like that page, would you? Come on,
Mike,
slackers.
I have the most random, curious question. When was the last time you stepped foot into a Starbucks?
About 2 weeks ago.
Okay, all right. Another random, curious question. When was the last time you put blueberries in a juice?
Oh, that was actually last week. I had some blueberries. They were on sale, and I love blueberries. How about you?
Very good. And when you have a cheat day, what do you usually like to eat first?
Even on my cheat days, I eat oatmeal first. So
Bam!
I love
Hey,
oatmeal, man. I eat it every
love
day.
oatmeal. I love oatmeal. I'm out of oatmeal, though. I got it on my list, my little Post-it note here to pick up some oatmeal today. Dude, I had blueberries in my shake yesterday. My juice. I actually got Caleb juicing for me now. Dude, this is kind of like a new, he's such a little juicer that I'm like, hey, make me a juice real quick. And I was just walking by the kitchen, and he spilled all the blueberries. Thank God I had another tub. And I just started cracking up. And he, looked at me. He's like, wow, that's cool that you laughed about that. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to get mad over blueberries falling on the ground? I mean, life's too short for that, my friends. What am I going to say? Be more careful, as if he purposely, dumped blueberries on the floor.
Right.
There's just some things we don't need to say. Like, be more careful next time. As if they weren't.
Right. Like he was flailing his arms around, spinning and knocking things over.
Looked like he was dancing with the blueberry. That's right. I mean, I dropped a candle last week. Don't forget where you came from. You know, I broke glass all over the place. So I'm not going to like chew my son out and give him a lecture, a 10-minute lecture, about being more careful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he already knew.
It's like cops telling us to slow down after they give us our ticket. You know, are we really going to slow down? No. I'm not slowing down. I've actually started to enjoy speeding. I enjoy it.
Hey, let's talk about that for a minute. Why do you enjoy speeding?
Only because I got places to go, man. People to see, things to do. No, actually, I do enjoy speeding. This is transparency, but I do try not to.
So let's here's some practical life coaching. Let's say the speed limit's 55. What's the right speed to drive?
65.
65. Okay, and if the speed limit's 65?
75. That's my opinion. You're asking my opinion on our show.
Okay, so is this...
I have a 10-mile kind of balloon here, a 10-mile...
So your algorithm is just plus 10.
Yeah. What about you, Mike? I'm sure you're like right on the 75, right?
No,
Mike,
I've
I've ridden with Mike 100 plus times, 200 times. He don't speed.
I speed. Yeah, Matt gives me grief. He's like, "What are you, a grandma? Come on, drive."
I know. I'm like, Mike, come on. You got all these people passing. Let's go. We're going to go feed the homeless. Come on, man. They're waiting on us. Anyway, today's going to be a good show, Mike. Today's going to be a good show. Today is about one of our favorite topics, you and I, family and relationships, and we'll throw in other things as well.
Absolutely. And so I'm excited about it. We've got some questions. Of course, I want to remind everyone, because it's been a while, just remind everyone that over there in the chat box, you can ask questions at any time. You can ask any question you want, we may or may not answer it, but you can ask any question there. There's also a question box, whether you're on an app or on a browser, it's down here, and you can ask a question there. You can also email mike@mathematics.com. You could go to our Facebook page, ask a question there. You could actually send me a letter, or you could text us at 727-341-5599. So any of those methods, you can get questions to us, and we'll get to them as quickly as we can, and try and answer them as best we can. Yeah.
The value of our talk show, in our opinion. Remember, you and I, many people, many of our advisors have said, you guys should pre-record your shows. And you and I always say, you know what? Our style is we are committed to always giving a personal touch. So meaning like when I go speak somewhere, I don't like hanging out in the office right before I speak. I like to go out and shake. Listen, if you're a speaker, you need to shake hands. Because what if your speech sucks? If you shake hands, you're at least going to be okay. But if you don't shake hands and your speech sucks, you're really in bad shape. But so this chat box is all about access. Mike and I can't slow down every day to answer questions. We try on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or whatever. So for 30 minutes, we sit down. You have our undivided attention. Neither one of us are checking emails or text messages right now. The only thing we're looking at is this screen and the chat box. So you're able to ask questions. It's access, my friends. Like you literally could ask any question you want. Mike, what, you made a note there, my friend?
Yeah, the title of this episode is Your Speech Sucked. Go shake hands.
That's good right there. I love Mike. I'm waving around a pin there, Sherry. I always wanted to do that. I love doing that. I love pointing when I speak. It's something my third grade teacher impacted me with. She always used a pin when she would talk to us, and I liked it.
Hey, before we get to the questions, we've talked about in a lot of shows in the past the power of the legal pad. Of course, it needs to be yellow. Otherwise, it's not really a legal pad.
Not a legal pad. That's right.
I've stepped it up. I've gone next level. Mine's on a clipboard.
Dude, that is actually, mine's in a clipboard folder and Caleb's is on a clipboard. So great minds think alike, dude, and I'm with you. Don't even buy the white legal pads.
No.
You know, that's not even a legal pad. It's gotta be yellow.
Plus, the great advantage of it being on a clipboard is occasionally I'll actually put on this headset and walk around my office yelling.
Oh, nice. So you feel like a coach.
Yeah. I mean, there's nobody in the office, but I'm just walking around yelling.
Notes. Not the blue ones, not the ones that, the yellow Post-it, not the pink ones. Definitely not the pink ones. Anyways, Mike, let's get into some of our questions here as we've spent 10 minutes just jabbing.
Hey, it's our show. I like what Mary said too. She said, don't get a pen with a big giant flower on it, because I'm just visualizing that with you like a huge hibiscus going, hey, everybody.
I'm with you, Mary. It's my pet peeve because I'm like, okay, this pen is like maybe 20 cents. It's a multi-million-dollar bank industry here. Come on. You can give up a few pens here and there to those losers that steal it. Don't make me write with a big flower on it. Or they wad a big tape all the way around it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this much tape.
Or they'll tape a spork to it.
That's funny, Mike. Anyways, here we go now. Here we go. We're gonna get to our show, friends. Don't always expect this, but hey, it's day number 2. We're just getting in our show flow.
All right. Hallelujah. Okay, so here's a question. We're going to be talking about some relationship stuff, and these are some pretty serious topics. So focus. Get your game face on.
All right.
Here's a topic we need to get into is manipulation in general, right? In relationships, because there are people who manipulate, and there's subtleties to manipulation. It's when you begin to think about manipulation, it's a very broad topic. It's much more pervasive than we think it is. But let's talk for a second just about what I would call overt manipulation, because some people are manipulators, and it's very obvious. Why do you think some people actually allow that to happen in their lives? Why do they allow themselves to be manipulated?
Well, Mike, I honestly believe one of the number one reasons why people allow manipulation is a lack of self-respect. I believe self-respect is the number one secret to developing healthier relationships, because when you respect yourself, it is going to cause people to respect you. I was actually doing life coaching with a client some time ago, and she had a situation where her father was had a really bad temper. He was very controlling, but she had her finances were tight, so he paid her cell phone bill. And so he was an alcoholic, and he always wanted her, he always wanted her to drop what she was doing and go buy his alcohol and go do this. And literally, like, she would go buy stuff for him. She would drive all the way back home, and then he would call her and say, actually, I need you to come back and pick me up. I forgot something. And so she was like making almost 2 trips a day to his house, right? And she was an adult. She was in her 30s. And the bottom line is he would always throw a temper if she said no. He would hang up on her. I mean, this is her dad. He would threaten. He would turn her phone off because she didn't make that much money. She was on his phone bill, and so he would just get mad, and call AT&T and turn off her phone. So here she would be without a phone, and so I said to her, I was like, you've got to set up some boundaries with your father. You've got to, in healthy relationships, you can say no and there be no problem. You can say no and there be no ignoring or cold shoulders or, tempers. Mike, that's the problem is most people don't have the luxury of being in healthy, safe relationships. Manipulation is the king of unhealth. And, I think all of us, we all want our way. Let's all be honest. So we've learned through life that sometimes to get your way, you have to manipulate. So all of us at times have probably been guilty of manipulation. Right. And to a degree, there could be a healthy side of it, but when it becomes unhealthy is when unhealthy emotions and when we start making people feel unsafe, or we start doing things like ignore, pull away, get cold, and I said, she said, well, if I tell him no, he's just going to yell at me and turn my phone off. I said, listen, you got two options in life. On this side is your phone. On this side is your self-respect. Trust me, every time you would rather not have a phone than not have self-respect. And if you'll let him do it one time and stick to your guns and say, Dad, I'm not going to let you treat me like this anymore. And if that means you not paying for my phone bill, then so be it. Believe it or not, that goes back to that book, Love Must Be Tough. Believe it or not, people that manipulate you, they have a hard time with you setting boundaries at first. They have a hard time with you saying no at first. But if you stick your ground and you display self-respect, don't do it in a in-your-face, arrogant way. People usually, it puts manipulators in their place to the point where it actually wakes them up to stop manipulating. Mike, we could talk about this for an hour.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
so I'm going to just cut it short, let you share a few things about your view on manipulation, and we'll see where this takes us.
Well, I think one of the key things, and thanks, Britton, for that link. I'm going to check that out later. But one of the things that I actually felt like was revealed to me as I was doing some Bible study and meditation a couple of years ago was understanding what manipulation really is, and beginning to see how I manipulate in my everyday relationships, and then trying to curb that to a certain extent. But I think that and like you said, there's varying degrees of it, and to a certain extent, we all do it, to a certain level. Yeah, but it's a very broad topic, a very complex, really. In the society we live in, it's so pervasive that sometimes we don't even think about it, and we just live a lifestyle where we manipulate people all the time, and we don't even think about it. And when it becomes revealed, anyway. It can be kind of startling. Let me put it that way. But I like what you said about not allowing it to happen, and really setting those boundaries. And a lot of times it's about.
Listen, if your parents pay your car payment, listen. A lot of times people use money and get money as a major manipulator tool and power.
Right.
And listen. If people do something for you, whether it's pay your cell phone bill if you're in hard times, or loan you money, or pay your car payment, listen. Hopefully you get to the place where you don't have to rely on other people. But hey, life is life. Sometimes it happens, right? You go through hard times, and money should never be used as manipulation. Should never be something that is held over your head, or that you should even allow to be held over your head. And I know that's a fine line right there. But anyways, here's a book. You've heard us mention it before. It really needs to be read once a year by everybody. When to say yes, when to say no. And it really, really, really is a must read. That I think it's a yearly must read, because so many people struggle with boundaries. And Mike, if people would realize the power of boundaries, life would be a whole lot easier, especially in dealing with manipulators.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, so Tommy asked a question, and I like this question. What about jealousy? And his question is, once you discover that you're jealous of someone, do you need to ask forgiveness from them, from the person you're jealous of? And that's a great question.
Rarely do you need to do that, Tommy, unless your jealousy has led to actions that have hurt that person. See, a lot of times, like, I've had people do this in sincerity to me. I've always respected them for it, but in the back of my mind, I've thought, I wasn't really necessary. They might come up and say, I owe you an apology because I've had a grudge against you, and I don't even know why. I just hated you, and I don't even know why. I was jealous. My personality can be that way sometimes, and I recognize it. I've had real life experiences with this, Tommy. Again, I've respected them. Anybody that says they're sorry, anybody that goes transparent with me, I'm going to have respect. I don't care what it is. However, it's not always necessary because you got to understand, there's very few people, Tommy, that will take what you said and now not start developing like second guessing thoughts about you. You're better off just saying, okay, God, I realize I've been jealous towards Mike. Please forgive me and help me overcome this. There's just no need. If I was jealous of Mike about something, I mean, Mike and I are like this. We literally can talk about anything. So in our relationship, it might be a little different. I might say, because he's not going to second guess me or question my motives or whatever. There's been years of trust built there with our friendship and whatever. And friendships like this, Tommy, it only comes around once a lifetime, maybe twice. It's hard to find. So you're better off just keeping it private, those feelings of jealousy, and just deal. If you're really sorry for it and you're going to change, then just do it. You don't even need to say anything to the other person, because now your actions of jealousy are going to change, and they're not going to feel it from you in the first place. Jealousy is an evil disease. Jealousy is a destroyer of relationships. Jealousy it can lead to sickness. Jealousy is an emotional, it's an emotional cancer. It's extremely dangerous in marriages, in friendships, in ministry. It's a real issue, Tommy. But no, I don't think you need to go. I don't think you need to, unless your actions. I don't think you need this. Mike, you might have a different view, and it's okay. Mike and I are okay if we have different views on different things.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, two things I'd like to say, because Tommy's mentioned a follow-up that is jealousy has led to problems with other people. And the only time that I would say it's advisable to go to the person and ask forgiveness, and I like your example, Matt, of somebody coming up out of the blue and you had no idea, and they tell you, and it didn't do anything for you. And I think that in most cases, it won't do anything for the person you're jealous of. But in the two cases where other people need to see you go to that person, right, to restore relationships there could be value in it. And the other thing is if you internally need that to happen, sometimes you need to take action that like forces your hand, that is uncomfortable for you. Sometimes you have to just do things to sort of stop an action. Like, you may have this jealousy emotion, like, internally the only way that you can stop it from happening is to like go to that person and kind of confess it to them. And in that case, it can be, it doesn't really help them. They're like going, what in the world's up with this guy? Right. But you internally, it made a difference, and that ended it. In those cases, I think that there may be value to it.
That's very good. That's extremely good, actually. Tommy, I love the question, and I appreciate the transparency. Mike, we're missing transparency. We're really hurting ourselves as a society, as a family units, friendships, relationships. We've got to start becoming transparent. We're afraid to, because we want everything to think well of us, or we want everyone to think well of us. But listen, transparency is a sign of an emotionally healthy person. So kudos to my boy, Tommy.
Yeah. Hey, can I just say, it's in total transparency, I'm jealous, Matt, of your bookshelves. My bookshelf is pathetic compared to yours.
Well, what's even scarier is I have a third one right over there, and I've got two out in my garage because they just won't fit. So I know, but you know what's even scarier is since iBooks have come out, I would probably have a sixth bookshelf. But I wish I'd have discovered iBooks like 20 years ago. But there's still nothing like having a book in your hands, is there?
I agree.
There's nothing like reading a book and like writing notes in it with an ink pen, or highlighting or underlining or circling or putting a star. I love that. But you know what I do? You still there? Or did you cut out? I lost your voice. Last night, me and Caleb went to Barnes & Nobles, and what I do is I take pictures of all the books I want to buy, because it's cheaper. Doing a study on the mind, so there's a lot of mind books in there. So that's probably like $200 worth of books that if I went and bought them all, that would be like, I don't know, a lot cheaper to do iBooks. But anyways, lost Mike for a minute. I'm sure he'll be back in a second. While he comes back, let me pull up a question here. See if we can get to the next question. Well, we've dealt with a little bit of a topic of how do you tactfully cause people to respect you. Look, man, respect is one of those things that is earned. As we've heard our teachers and parents say, there's just certain times in life where you're never going to get respect from people. Okay, let me give you 3 things to think about respect, okay? Number 1, you've got to earn respect. How you earn respect is through consistency, building credibility, actions. Actions are where it's at, But really, honestly, to go even deeper is you've got to have self-respect. When you have self-respect, when you respect yourself, hold on, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Switching sides.
We just can't be on the wrong side. But when you respect yourself, it's going to cause people to have more respect for you. And then last but not least, you've got to accept that there's some people that because of their low self-esteem, because of their own issues, because of their own insecurities and jealousies or whatever it is, there's some people's respect that you will never earn even if you were perfect. You've got to accept that. You've got to know, okay, I know that I've lived my life in a way that would cause this person to respect me, but they don't show me respect. Some people don't even know how to show respect. And you've got to accept that reality. Mike, I was talking a little bit about how do you get people to respect you? How do you know what I'm saying? Because we were talking a little bit about self-respect.
It's good. Well, I'm not sure what you covered, so I don't really have anything to add. But so I've got another interesting question here, and some of the kind of leads to this. In life, conflict happens.
I spilt my tea on my shirt because my video cut out. I don't know if that's Mike here. Hey, just click yes if you can hear me, or did we both cut out at the same time? I'm assuming you can still hear me. Mike was asking, how do you handle conflict? In other words, what's the wisest way to confront somebody without it turning into a fight? And I'm going to try to answer that in like 3 minutes. How do you confront somebody without it becoming a conflict or a fight? Listen, confrontation is something most people fear because the word confrontation automatically tenses people up because, unfortunately, again, because we didn't grow up. You know what's sad is the school system. I don't want to rant right now about the school system, but I'm disappointed at the stuff they don't teach. They've got our kids' attention for 12 years. And I'm shocked that they don't have relationship classes every year. I really believe from kindergarten until they graduate high school, there should be a relationship curriculum. You can't even, I don't care if you're the most unbelievable educated person, that there's no success in life without people. You've got to know how to relate with people. My Lord. To have a successful marriage, to be a successful parent, to be a successful boss, employee. How in the world did the school system miss this? But anyways, I don't want to rant right now. It's probably why I'm homeschooling my son. Many reasons, actually, why I've decided to spend the next 5 years homeschooling my son. Welcome back, Mike Hopkins! Anyways, we'll stay on the side just because we're almost out of time. Well, you know what? We can go a few minutes over.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. Hey, Matt, did you get to Britton's question about dealing with coworkers
that are hateful and negative? No, I didn't even see it. So
let's bring that up.
A small part up about conflict, okay. And then we'll go there. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I was getting ready to talk about how to confront somebody. We'll start next Wednesday with that. So we'll because that's going to take a good 10 minutes ish.
Okay.
Britton, what are some good ways to deal with a coworker who is always hateful and negative when you can't avoid interaction with them? There's many ways to handle this. I'll give you three. Number one is remember this: those that deserve love the least usually need it the most. People that are hateful, negative, it's because they hate themselves. Kindness kills. Kill them with kindness. Never react. I know it's easier said than done because we're all human and all of us have certain buttons that once they're pushed. But, look, you obviously got to deal with these people every day. I would say number one is not let it affect you emotionally. I know that's hard sometimes, but see past their immediate actions and realize the deeper issue is they hate themselves and they're insecure. And try to love them, try to be kind, speak life. And then don't let it bother you. It's easier said than done, but don't let it bother you. I almost take on the approach that I feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Then the other thing is you can try to set the example by being positive around them. You can actually, listen, what I've learned about these type of people is you can only deal with them one-on-one. Because if you deal with a hateful person in front of others, they'll want to kind of continue to, they'll react in ways that almost make them feel in control, because a lot of these people that are hateful are also controlling. So I've dealt with people like this and pulled them aside one-on-one. Like one-on-one is the most powerful way to deal with people like this, because usually one-on-one, they don't try to show off as much. They don't try to, appear so controlling or whatever. And I would say to them, Britton, I notice you appear, it could be me. It probably is me. And if it is, that's why I want to talk to you, because I'd love to, we're going to work together every day for years. And I'd love for it to be a good experience for both of us. I'm going to tell you how I feel and explain it. So I feel like you're hateful, and this is why I feel like you're hateful. And look, Britton, hopefully they'll be like, oh man, I didn't realize I was doing that. My bad, right? That's what you're hoping for. And you always state the outcome at the beginning. Say, look, man, first thing I want you to know is I don't want a confrontation. I don't want to fight. I don't want to be enemies. I'd like to be your friend. I'd like for us to get to know each other better. You need to be surprised. A lot of these people are ministry opportunities for Bible studies, opportunities for praying with people. A lot of times people that are hateful are hurting. It's no excuse for their behavior, but it's a reason. Last but not least is sometimes you got to accept it. You got to realize, you know what, I can't change it. And you got to pray and, like the Bible says, bless them that use you. See, the power of blessing people that take advantage of you and choosing the kindness route and is you actually gain power over them and actually cause God to defend your case. And when God defends I've always taken on the approach, I don't need to defend myself because God defends me. If I defend myself, I'll win sometimes. If I let God defend me, I'll win every time. It's kind of the approach I would take, Britton. I don't know the whole situation, so I'm trying to, give as much as I can. Mike, anything you would want to know on that, my friend?
Well, of course, there's a lot of complexities that can be involved in that, and I think that finding a place of compassion for their brokenness will help you have a little more patience while you try to work through it. And understanding, I like what you said, Matt, about understanding that they're probably hurting, they probably don't have a lot of self-respect. Trying to sort of see what their issue is will help you have more compassion and more understanding, and it makes it a little bit easier to deal with it. But then eventually, eventually you need to do something about it, right? And in my opinion, so just having a conversation with them, and I like the way that you approach that, Matt. Just say, here's what I'd like to do, and we need to work together, and
yeah.
Sometimes it's difficult, but.
You know what I've learned, Mike? It is difficult. But you know what I've learned? A lot of relationship communications, declaring the desired outcome before a conversation,
right,
sometimes sets things at ease. Like, hey, the reason why I'm coming to you, Mike, is because I want us to get closer, and I don't want anything to hinder our friendship, and I don't want there to be any misunderstanding, so I want to just share something. A lot of times when you declare the outcome before the reason why I want to talk to you about this is because I want to make sure that we're all good. I don't know. I mean, there's listen, in relationships, there can be thousands of misunderstandings. Like, misunderstanding is the mother of relationship problems. I mean, dude, the amount of people today, and this is sad to me, the amount of people today that don't talk at all, that are family, that used to be best friends, that don't talk over something that started over a small misunderstanding is actually quite sad, scary, and could cause all of us to second guess that, hey, there's probably family in your life you're not talking to that probably with maturity could be fixed in a 10-minute conversation. 10 minutes. But you got to realize, for relationships to work, you gotta be an understanding person. You gotta be a fair person. You gotta be willing to let things go. You gotta be willing to forgive the past. You gotta be willing to accept the other person's humanity. You gotta be willing to accept their apology. You've got to be willing to try again. You've got to be willing to take the risk. I mean, there's a lot of components to getting a relationship to a healthy place. Mike, we could talk about this all day. I mean, obviously, I think we're going to go back here on Wednesday and dive into this because I feel like we can help some people out there, because I know you and I have had a lot of experiences with family, friends, people that, Mike, I know there's people that hated you, and I don't even think they know why they hated you. Didn't you have someone knock on your door one time and say, you know what, I hate you, I want to punch you? Did something like that? You fixed his computer, remember? He was coming to pick up his computer that you fixed for free.
Actually delivered it to him, yeah. So
anybody that hates Mike Hopkins is a pure, they potentially could be the Antichrist. Be aware of people that hate Mike Hopkins, because they could be the Antichrist.
I don't know about that, but one other quick tip is if you do, I like what you said about going to them, Matt, asking or saying those things. But one thing to keep in mind too is always listen to everything that they say, because there may be clues about why they're treating you the way that they are, and you want to listen to those things, because that could really open a door for your understanding that may ease the situation tremendously.
Good point, Mike. Actually, a really good point. Listening can heal a lot. And a lot of times, you know what I've learned? People don't need an explanation. They need to be heard. A lot of healing can take place when someone has been heard.
Yeah.
When they feel like they've. So anyways, here we are, 37 minutes, day number 2 of 2015. Mike, we're on a roll, my friend.
Yeah, we should probably just call it a 40-minute show, just to be real, right?
40-minute show, first 10 minutes, a little bit of ribbing, a little bit of fun, but it's our show, like Mary says. Validation is huge, Mary. Mike, I'm glad we have a show every week about relationships, because I'm hoping that by the end of the year, Mike and I, by coming to you every week talking about relationship stuff, that we help fix some things in your life and help you get better, help you heal some past relationships and become better mothers and fathers and husbands and wives and just better people. Because, Mike, there's so much to talk about when it comes to healthy relationships.
Amen. That's good. So we will sign off for today, and tomorrow, once you do our outro there, my friend.
Okay, my friend. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:30. Mike and I will be talking about business and entrepreneurship. And, the reason why Mike's laughing about that is because he does the intros and I do the closings. That's how we've agreed to do Fuel for Success. And so that was Mike's little friendship hint. Like, hey, Maddox, let's close.
Time to close the show.
He was getting ready to close it. And he and we don't get mad. If he would have closed it today, I wouldn't have, ignored him all day. And he'd be, calling and finally, Maddox, why are you talking to me? I'm like, you know why? You closed the show today, dude. You do that again, bro, and I'll change my number. You'll never hear from me again. So anyway, yeah. What
I'm really trying to say is I'm looking at the clock going, we need to close the show. I got a busy day. Come on.
Come on, close the show. All right, we love you guys. We appreciate you. And don't get offended either. That's the way to have healthy relations. Don't get offended quick. All right, we love you guys. Don't forget you can join us at fuelforsuccess.tv. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fuel for Success. Go to YouTube and type Fuel for Success. Listen, you owe it to fellow humanity. If this show is a blessing to you, you owe it to fellow humanity to put this link up on your social media, Twitter, Facebook. Text it. You can literally text this link to your cousin Joe, your friendship Bob, your Aunt Susie. It doesn't matter. Text it to whoever. Say, hey, watch this show. These guys are helping people. That's why we do this. We do this for people to help people. So, and also go to iTunes and download our podcast. We love you guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Have an awesome Wednesday, everyone. God bless.